Hyman, who's acting as a spokesman for the Israeli government. Avi, thank you for joining me this evening. So your ambassador in London, Zippy Hotovely, has been called in to meet Foreign Office Minister Andrew Mitchell today. What I don't quite understand is how a vehicle that was so clearly marked was targeted, or was this just a horrible accident?
Nigel, thank you so much for having me on, and thank you for highlighting the story. It would appear, a terrible, terrible accident. This was an incredible organization. You know, aid workers like these in conflicts like this are often the unsung heroes. They were going to give food and aid to people that genuinely need it at a time when we're fighting to get aid into Gaza and not having it stolen by Hamas, who are taking it into their underground compounds and hogging the food and aid. So our heart goes out to the families of the victims, and we're going to thoroughly investigate it. It's going to be a transparent investigation, a professional investigation, and we hope, ultimately, we hope that we'll find out that it actually wasn't us, and maybe there was some other explanation, because it's such a terrible situation. But ultimately, we will get to the bottom of this and ensure that it doesn't happen again. You have a situation in Gaza where,
No, okay. And, you know, for your ambassador to be called in to the Foreign Office does reflect, I think you'll agree, a quite significant shift in position in terms of British foreign policy and indeed American foreign policy since October the 7th. And I completely understand your position that if Hamas is allowed to be unscathed after October the 7th, there was nothing to stop them simply doing it again, and perhaps even on a bigger scale. But the sheer number of civilian casualties are beginning to leave Israel very, very isolated.
Nigel, I'm not going to wade into British politics. You've made your name on that. I'll leave that to you. What I can say is that Israel is up against a brutal, brutal enemy that has said that given the chance, they will do October 7th again and again and again. We can't allow that to happen. So we need to plow on with our mission to destroy Hamas, to bring home the 134 hostages, and to ensure that Gaza doesn't become a threat to us again. Now, we believe that our allies, be it Great Britain, be it the United States, will stand shoulder to shoulder, not just because of what I've explained, but because it's an issue of values. It's an issue of the same enemy. The people that perpetrated October 7th are the same ideology that perpetrated the 7th of the 7th. We first saw Hamas became famous on the world stage by blowing up, doing suicide bombings on buses, blowing up buses. We all remember the scenes of the blown up double-decker in London. To quote the former chief rabbi of England, Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks, what starts with the Jews rarely ends with the Jews. So we're in the same battlefield. This is your war, and we need to win this war because our enemies all around are watching.
Yes, but the point I'm making, and final point, but most important point, is people are seeing, and, you know, numbers are disputed, obviously, they always are in these situations, but people are seeing a very large civilian death toll. And that's the worry. And that is what is turning people, if not against Israel, certainly to a more neutral position.
So allow me to push back on that, because, yes, that's definitely a narrative that's being pushed, and it's a Hamas narrative, because the more people think that civilian casualties are skyrocketing, the more chance Hamas has to stop the war because of international pressure and to stay in power. So that's Hamas's strategy, to increase civilian casualties on both sides. Now, what the IDF is doing, and this has been said by leading military experts in British experts, leading American experts, is the IDF is operating in a way to absolutely minimize civilian casualty in a way that no other army has done in the history of modern warfare. I believe in generations to come, they'll be learning about the battles that we're currently fighting in Sandhurst and in West Point, in military schools, as the gold standard for urban warfare. I don't think there's ever been a scenario where a terrorist organization has set themselves up deep within a civilian population, under a civilian population, created a network of terror tunnels twice the size of the London Underground to attack us. This is unprecedented, and we're doing our very best, and we're winning, and we will have total victory.
Well, thank you for making those points, because they're not being heard enough on British media. Avi Hyman, thank you very much indeed. OK.